Thank you. We come from the University of Gothenburg and the Swedish Academy Dictionary project in Lund. And we will discuss how one can use visualization of cross-references in order to find gaps in semantic descriptions. And it is well known that cross-referencing between semantically related headwords is important for reception and production. And it seems that related words form a system of associations. For example, synonymous pairs like hungry and starved. And also synonyms and antonyms and so on provide additional information to the meaning of words. Cross-referencing between nouns such as north, south, east, and west provide additional information on what these words actually mean. And it can also, these cross-references provide knowledge of connotations, pragmatic characteristics, and so on. For example, chubby, corpulent, fat, plump, and stout, how these are related.
The aim of this presentation is to talk about the survey of cross-references in the contemporary dictionary of the Swedish Academy, often called SO. The second edition of the dictionary was published this spring and has been compiled at the University of Gothenburg. And Kristian and I are members of the dictionary project. SO is mainly intended as a reception dictionary, but it can also be used for production. And the target users are native speakers and advanced L2 learners. And the second edition of the dictionary will, in contrast to the first edition from 2009, only be published digitally. So it's going to be dictionary apps, and it is published at the Swedish Academy Dictionary portal, svenska.se. In preparing the second edition, we have made efforts in using the digital format as much as possible. For example, we have tried to make it easier for the users to both review the contents of the entries and to go from one entry to another by using cross-references. Today we will focus on the usage of 4 different paradigmatic cross-references placed in a special field in the microstructure of the dictionary and how they can be visualized. These cross-references are indicated by the labels se, jämför, synonym, and motsats. In English, see, compare, synonym, and opposite. So to sum up, why have we conducted this study? First of all, by the study, the semantic network in the dictionary can be overviewed in a new way. Furthermore, we are interested in finding errors and gaps, as well as other areas of improvement in the dictionary related to cross-referencing. And we also want to check whether we have taken enough advantage of the digital medium. How can we improve SO in this way?
And we have used a data visualization software to give us an overview of the semantic network in the dictionary, SO. And the tool is called Constellation, and it is free open source software for data visualization and analytics, originally developed at the Australian Signals Directorate in 2012. And to obtain the data describing all cross-references as a graph, we took the presentation ready HTML files and scanned it using a Java program. And more details are seen below. This is an example where we see the relationship between the entries 1 active and 2 active. And 1 active means active and 2 active means active voice. And we also see a subset of other headwords as visualized by this software. And so we have 1 active is an adjective and 2 active is a noun. And we have different boxes. First of all, we have the dictionary entries for 1 active here and 2 active here. And we also have a number of boxes. So yellow boxes in this right side figure indicates adjectives, and orange boxes indicate nouns, and green boxes indicate verbs. And as you can see, these entries are treated in a rather consistent way, or this is at least an example of a consistent treatment. So for example, there are cross-references in both directions between the adjective headwords active and passive. And as you can see, between them, there are red arrows indicating an opposite relationship. So, and these are bidirectional or reciprocal. And we also see that there is a consistent treatment of active as a noun and passive as a noun, as you can see by the two bidirectional arrows. And as you see here, we have quite a number of different arrows which indicate the other types of relations.
From now on, we will focus on the usage of paradigmatic cross-references indicated by the labels compare, synonym, see, and opposite. In total, there are about 38,000 cross-references of this type in the dictionary. And as you can see on this slide, cross-references with the label compare are the most common. And this is the example on this slide. You can see the Swedish adverb ganska with the meaning quiet, pretty, rather, and headwords related to that. All the green boxes are adverbs and all the yellow boxes are adjectives. And as said, the type of cross-reference is indicated by the color of the arrow, the arrow. The yellow arrow represents compare, and the green arrow represents synonym. Finally, the red arrow represents opposite. And as shown, there are reciprocal cross-references between ganska and two other headwords in SO. You can see the double green synonym arrows to and from the words rätt, fairly, and tämligen, fairly, moderately. Furthermore, there are reciprocal yellow cross-references of the type compare between ganska and förhållandevis, proportionally, and between ganska and jämförelsevis, comparatively. The adverb relatively, is also introduced as a synonym to ganska. But there is no cross-references from relative to ganska or from relative to any other headword in the dictionary. In other words, the adverb relative could be more clearly related to other adverbs in SO. And by the same picture, it is also possible to overview the cross-references to and from the headword mycket. As you can see, the cross-references between mycket and bra, meaning to a large extent, have different colors, so the information provided in the two entries is not entirely consistent. The question is if this is a result of a choice by a lexicographer, or if it is a gap. It has to be examined by the lexicographers.
So the final discussion then. So thanks to this visualization software, it is easier than before to get an overview of the semantic network. But a lot of work remains before this digital format is fully utilized in the dictionary, and especially when it comes to cross-referencing. And we have seen, for example, that many entries in this dictionary are completely isolated, as they include no cross-references or links to other entries at all. And also, we find that traditional lexicographic policies of the dictionary need to be adjusted, and the choice of labels in SO should be considered. So, for example, what do labels like, for example, synonym refer to? How are these labels used in different editions of SO, for example? And how should the labels be interpreted? We need to conduct a user study to gain in-depth knowledge of this aspect. And here are our references. So thank you very much for listening.
Thank you.